So a lot of you guys know that yesterday I did a 12-part series on the mental and narcissistic abuse that my friend endured while sick with her ex-husband. Let's call him Chad. And I know that quite a few people saw it. But the most important part of the abuse story was not being seen. And it just wasn't good enough for me. If you want to watch the whole 9-minute series, it is on my Instagram. But I am going to do a much condensed version of her abuse story. Jojo deserves to be heard, especially with her being in the hospital a third time. And because of you guys and your love for me, and you know how much I love her, y'all have sent her the utmost love and support, and I don't even know how to thank you. But I have to ask to please share this story, because I know there are other people that are going through it, and it's not okay. So it's not only to help Jojo heal, it's to help others with her story. So without further ado, this is Jojo's story. Like me, Jojo was a bartender for years. 3 years ago, before I moved back from Alabama, Jojo was having severe pain in her lower back that was shooting into her knee. We always think that it's wear and tear because we had been bartenders for years, even with my diseases. Jojo did everything she could to get her body right because her body was her vessel to make money. We were hustlers. We could run a full bar just by ourselves like that. She was going to chiropractors twice a week, trying to get her body aligned. She was still miserable in pain. Jojo was also married for 3 years. There were a lot of red flags for Chad, especially since he wouldn't go and get a job, blamed everything wrong in his life, like losing his daughter, on Jojo, when in reality, Jojo could not afford for lawyers, court fees, alcohol monitoring, child support, and fucking alcohol classes that were all court ordered. So what did he do? He decided to drink more. And while he drank, that resentment turned abusive. Started his abuse with her friends and customers. Chad was telling anyone that would possibly listen to him that Jojo was faking her pain because she didn't want to sleep with him, because she slept on a couch. She still sleeps on a couch to this day because of all the pain she is in. He didn't understand why she could work 40 hours in that much pain. She couldn't have a normal life and home. That was because you couldn't get a job. You keep forgetting that. When COVID hit, Jojo lost everything. They sold the bar that she was working at to a bar down the street, and they were building another bar at the same location. She did everything she could to help set up that bar. But Jojo was in a lot of pain and lost 100 pounds in 1 year because she couldn't eat or hold anything down. There was a rumor started by her husband, you didn't think I knew about this, Chad, that you thought she was on drugs. And that is the reason why she didn't get that job, because that rumor hit the owners. And I bet they feel pretty stupid right about now, don't you think? They fucking should. And I'm sorry, who was on drugs? Who was stealing their wife's ADHD medication to where she had to hide it? Okay, so this is part 2. If you've not watched part 1, please go watch part 1 and then come back to this video. So at this point, we are getting really, really scared for Jojo. She lost almost 100 pounds, and her mother is a nurse, and her mother was like, no, something isn't right. I will pay. We are gonna get you tested. Of course, Chad thinks she's still faking it. She's doing drugs. Jojo went to the doctor. They ran several tests and found out that she had stage 4 colon cancer. She has a 2-inch wide tumor that is on her colon that presses into her spine, hence why she's having all of the pain. Jojo was in shock. Who wouldn't be? You know what Chad did? He acted like he was the one that had cancer and was going through all the pain, not Jojo. Starts calling all her friends. And then Jojo went to the hospital because she had an infection. Chad called me, telling me that Jojo was on death's door. So what did I do? I got on TikTok, I made an Amazon wish list, made a GoFundMe, did everything I could because he knew I would do anything for her. Remember that. And I'm in another state, so I'm freaking out. Jojo calls me and tells me she's fine. Chad called me and told me she was lying, so it didn't add up. Because you guys love me and sent me money to go buy a plane ticket, I went to North Carolina to take care of her. And when I got there, I became outraged of what I found out Chad was doing. Chad was going to the bars, talking to customers, telling them everything. And I know people gave him money. Chad told me she was on death's door because he knew what I would set up, and he thought he was gonna have access to the funds and the Amazon wish list. The second I got there, he wasn't gonna have any a part of that. While she was in the hospital fighting off an infection, Chad was being his abusive self, calling her a cunt because he went to the bars telling them that he bought her diapers when it was not even the situation at all. Jojo was mortified because she was getting messages from her friends. So she called him crying, saying, I am absolutely humiliated and mortified. I don't need diapers. Why would you even do that? That is a whole new level. Please take them back. I don't need them. So he told her to go fuck off and that she was a cunt. She was in the hospital. I asked him and he called her a cunt right to my face, and I fucking lost it. Okay, I fucking lost it on him. How dare you call your wife a cunt because you did something fucked up and you turned it around on her. I called him some pretty colorful language to the point he knew he could no longer manipulate me, and he went straight up to his room to sulk for an entire week and a half that I was there. So Jojo had to make a plan for her because she couldn't do this by herself. So she begged, pleaded Chad, look, I'm gonna go stay with my parents for a while. You get a job, get yourself grounded, and I will be back. Chad completely ignored her. All she wanted was her husband and the love of her husband, and he was calling her a cunt, a bitch. She ruined his life. Good, she deserved it. You didn't think I knew about that either? All she wanted was for him to fight for their family. She could fight for her fucking life. He treated her like a small fucking ant in this universe, like she wasn't even there. I was only gonna stay for a few days. I stayed longer because I was scared for her safety. Throughout the entire time I was there, I saw my best friend puke, cry, scream, moan, in pain. I felt completely helpless, but I was there, and I asked if she needed anything. You know what Chad did? Not a damn fucking thing. One of those days was the most painful day she had had. I couldn't take her son to school because I wasn't on the list to pick him up and drop him off. Her son is nonverbal autistic. They are very, very on point with the children's safety, and I understand that. It took one morning, she went up there, literally crawled upstairs, and asked Chad if he could take her son to school. He rolled over in bed and acted like she was not even in the room. And I had to watch my best friend take him to school, get him ready, pack his lunch. I did everything I could, but I couldn't really do anything. One time, Chad was so angry at Jojo, for, breathing, that he started yelling at her non-verbal autistic son that can't do sounds and yelling. And it was in that moment Jojo flipped a switch and had enough. Fully attacked his ass, I'll tell you that. December 31st, Jojo left. She was already gone. She paid his cell phone bill the end of the year. She signed a 30-day. He was still on the lease and he got an eviction. He stayed in that house for an extra month, using the landlord's gas and energy because it's a North Carolina law. Before then, Jojo asked him to sign separation papers that he refused to sign. Where is Chad now? Chad is living in another state with his brother, and his brother has his own company, so now he works with him. He finally got a job because he knew he didn't have Jojo's money anymore. He's drinking every day, every night, every weekend, riding motocross, living his best fucking life. Meanwhile, Jojo is in the hospital for a third time now, feeling complete and total worthless because he decided to message her and say, I love you and I pray for you every day. When the fuck did you become religious, Chad? Because you sure as fuck wasn't religious when you were abusing her. And just because you didn't put your hands on her didn't mean you didn't emotionally abuse her. You treated her like common trash. Because of you guys sending her love from her Amazon wish list and the comments, because she does see, have lifted her spirits to the max. I will always be grateful for you guys. Well, if I was looking to this as karma, Chad should have gotten the disease, not her. And even if he did get sick, Jojo would have held his hand and stayed by his side, treated her like an ATM card. And I hope he thinks about that every day of his miserable life, because he'll never have custody of his daughter, and he will always have something missing in his life. That man, that boy, will never be happy. I'll be damned if my friend dies, the blood will be on his hands, and his hands alone. And I want him to think about that every day for the rest of his life. And that's the story time. I tried to make this as short as I could. If you've been here the entire time, thank you. Please get this message out. Jojo's wish list is still in my bio, and I hope she has a lot of welcome home gifts when she's able to get out of the hospital. I love you, Jojo, and I will fight for you every day of my life.